So, my name is Dr. Lum. I am a pediatrician and a mother. I'm really passionate about helping parents raise kids that thrive. And today I will be talking about really what you can do to improve your health by managing stress. So, I'm talking about stress because unfortunately for us today, the levels of stress are at all-time high. There is the pandemic, there is inflation, there is homeschooling. If you're a parent who has multiple kids, it's like the stress level goes up even high with the frequent changes and recommendations with the school. So it's really important that we pay attention to what's going on and really try to find time or find ways to help manage those stressful events. So normally, our body, usually every process in our body is geared towards protecting us. So stress initially is as a means of your body really protecting you from anything that is a threat or perceived as a threat. So for example, way back in the day, if there's something chasing you or someone chasing you, all the blood flow leaves the GI tract to the muscles, so you have enough energy to run. You become hypervigilant so you can see where you're going to and run away from danger. But typically after that, there's supposed to be a point where there's rest and restoration, where your body is supposed to heal. Now, unfortunately, it has become so chronic where there's no time for rest and restoration. So we're in this chronic state where the blood flow leaves the GI system to the muscles. So we start, when you're in that chronic state, you start experiencing symptoms like nausea or heartburn or abdominal pain, which I see especially that in kids where it's just that chronic abdominal pain. And then we start taking medications for either the nausea or the heartburn or the abdominal pain, where we're not really looking to see what's causing it. And also I've seen kids with muscle aches too, where you have that chronic blood going to the muscles again, increasing lactic acid levels, and then you have muscle aches and stuff. And then when it comes to whether it's blood pressure or diabetes, you have a rise in those stress hormones where the fat is stored in your belly and stuff, and for some reason you're trying to lose weight, but you can't really get rid of the excess belly fat and stuff. You're higher risk of forming blood clots, so high risk of having a heart attack and stuff. So it affects so many different systems in the body, where if you find yourself where you're taking one medicine for headaches all the time, another medicine for diabetes, another medicine for high blood pressure, or another one for heart or acid reflux, you may want to stop and think and say, okay, what is really causing the symptoms that I'm experiencing, and what can I do to really figure out what the problem is and fix it? That way you don't have to take all those medications, right? So let's see what we can do. So chronic stress is a state of negative, it's like a negative state in your body. And we usually sit in a space where we're constantly functioning in thinking, feeling, and choosing, right? So every action was preceded by a thought. So if you have this chronic levels of negative thoughts, you have negative emotions, which will lead to overwhelm, and then you have negative actions where your body perceives it as a threat again. Your body does not have any way of distinguishing between a real threat versus a perceived threat. So if it perceives at any moment based on the negative thoughts that your body's in threat, what it would do is try to protect you again by raising your heart rate, hypertension, doing all those things to help to kind of get you to safety. So the first thing I'll say is really finding a way to manage those negative thoughts that will come in. Is being aware of the thoughts that are leading to the overwhelm or the physical symptoms of the increased heart rate and all of that stuff is the first step of really finding the healing of your mindset, right? So sitting in it, because the tendency is when we are in a stressful situation, rather than sitting in it, we try to run away from it. And how do we do that? By reaching out, say, for a box of cookies or a box of donuts, or some people go out and smoke a cigarette, or you come back home after a long, stressful day, reach out for a glass of wine. So we've come to try to deal with it with these things that are actually fueling, for lack of a better word, those same things that are going against us. So instead of really avoiding it by reaching out for the immediate instant gratification actions, you want to really sit in it and ask yourself why. Why am I feeling this way? How am I feeling right now? What are the thoughts that have led me to feel this way? Journaling is a really good thing for that. I know there are a lot of people who are not really big with journaling. I struggled with that at first for myself, but even just writing a list of, okay, even if it's just like this is how I feel, this is what happened and stuff, where it's just like a list of stuff, that will bring you into awareness of like, every time this happens, I feel this way and I do this. Once you're aware of it, now you can write a list of affirmations. I'm sure you all have heard about affirmations and stuff. And affirmations is usually a positive way to counteract that thought. So say I'm going into a stressful situation at work, for example. I have affirmations where I'm like, I have said in my mind that I remain calm in every stressful situation. It could be as simple as that, where you've already set up your mind that you're going to do that. And how do I act? I take deep breaths and stuff, and I'm constantly reminding myself to stay calm in the situation, because guess what? Once you're calm in that situation, you're focused and you're more mentally alert, and you make better decisions that way, rather than if you face the same situation and we run away from it, then we never really plan on how to really counter it or act on it, or how to deal with the situation, because we're constantly running away from it. We're going to constantly come in and have to deal with it. So really sitting in it, and then writing a list of affirmations that will counteract those negative thoughts. And the other thing I'd like to add with that is, besides that, actually spending time to find things that calm you down personally, because there's some things that will calm me down per se, may not be something that calms you down, because again, in a state of chronic stress, we're not really taking time to rest and restore. And we rest and restore by building into our schedules those things that are relaxing for us, those things that kind of fill up your cup. That way, once you know, like, okay, I feel calm in this situation, or these are the situations where I feel my best, and try to find a way of incorporating that either on your daily activities or your daily life, or knowing that, okay, if I'm in a stressful situation, these are the actions I can take to counteract it, as opposed to just automatically just reaching for something that is not going to serve you. So the first 3 action steps from this point is sitting in it and becoming aware of the thoughts that are leading to the actions you're making. Create a list of maybe 3 different affirmations that you can use to counteract those negative thoughts, and then think about 3 things that typically will calm you down. Now, the next thing is really nourishing yourself with foods that provide nourishment, because in a stressful situation, it's very critical for you to nourish your body with foods that are high in nutrients, because stress leads to inflammation, but all the other things that we reach out for when we're stressed out really worsens the inflammation. So it's like, I'm stressed out, there's inflammation, my body's in overdrive, and then I'm adding fuel to the fire by adding sugary stuff. I'm hyper vigilant, I can't go to sleep, so I'm up all the time, or I'm so tired and stuff, so I reach out for some kind of a sugary energy drink just to get me going throughout the day. But then all those things at the end of the day, I can't really shut down to sleep. So you want to remove those sugary and sweetened beverages, because research is showing that with an increased intake with sugar and processed foods, we're seeing an increased rate of depression and other chronic diseases too. So replacing those sugary stuff and the processed foods with more nourishing fruits, because guess what, those are high in calories, empty in nutrients, and your body needs the nutrients for you to be able to function. So what you can do is, instead of reaching out for the high calorie sugary snacks, you can replace those with berries per se, the more natural sweets that have fibers and stuff, because guess what, there is a gut brain connection. When you nourish your gut, you nourish your brain. So you want to be able to add foods into your diet that are high in omega-3. Lots of nuts and seeds are high in that. Avocado is good with that. Omega-3, some fish is good in that and stuff. If you want to do flax seeds and stuff, make smoothies, those are usually good. We're helping reduce the inflammation. We're helping your body to get back to that healing process once you're in that state. So the action step for this would be replace the unhealthy snacks with healthy berries, nuts, and seeds. Those are easy to reach for. Those are healthier options to go for, as opposed to going with the unhealthy snack options. Now, the final thing, which I think is really critical, especially in a stressful situation, is exercise. And when I say exercise, it's not like you have to go to the gym for 4 hours a day, 2 hours a day. Again, it's going back to the first thing, like find the thing that really calms you down. I particularly like walks. Mindful walks are really good, where you're kind of in the present and you're really stepping out to enjoy the breeze on your face, really being here and enjoying being in this present moment. You enjoy the walks, you pay attention and really appreciate the environment and appreciate where you are. Guess what? Most people will work so hard each day to be in these great neighborhoods, amazing flowers and communities that are kept up, but we don't really sit back to really enjoy it. So sometimes just going outside and just being present and just walking, that is a good way of releasing stress too. Now, if you're one who wants to go to the gym, that should be what really fills you up. You never want to be in a state where you're doing things because you think you should or ought to do it, because that way you're projecting someone else's opinion, or you're taking someone else's values up. And once you do that, again, that's an external force coming in. We want to make sure you're doing something that really feels you from the inside out. So whether it's dancing, whether it's walking, whether it's the gym, whether it's having even group classes in the gym where you go out for a good dance and stuff, those are all amazing options. But the most important thing is that find an option that really fills you up and helps calm you down. So that's the action step for this one. It will be find something that fills you up and make sure you do it. And a lot of times I hear too, it's like, I don't have time for that. Most of these things you can do, one activity can actually take care of everything. I particularly like dancing too. My kids love that, or my younger kid loves dancing. So I could have a 10-minute dance with her. Guess what? I'm filling myself up. I'm spending time with her and really pouring into her as well. So if you have kids, you can get your kids involved. The older one, she doesn't particularly care for dancing, but she loves puzzles. That's another good thing. We can do puzzles together. We can talk about her day as well, because guess what? The things that we're stressed about, our kids are stressed about it too. They may not be talking to us about it because we're not open to them. So sometimes as we're dealing with it, we have to be aware that our kids are watching us and they can feel the stress levels and they're worried too. So really trying to put everything together where as you're filling your cup up, you want to be able to be transparent and talk to them about it and help them figure out how to fill their cups up, because it's in this life you will experience the stress, but then the best way to deal with it is really figuring out how I can handle it. That way you can build resilience, that way you can build emotional strength, and you can help reduce again your risk of all the things like high blood pressure, diabetes and stuff, because as long as it's chronic, your risk of all this chronic disease increases. So hope this was helpful. So I have quite a few action steps. Really think about it and pick one and try it and let me know how it works out for you. Thank you for joining me today.